As we are shifting, it's like just like a snake shedding its skin of the old, letting go of that growth. I used to keep snakes. I remember when my snake was growing, they lit the old self that is shedding of the old. And this can be an uncomfortable time for many of you, which you are experiencing right now. There are those interactions where it can be grating. So when you are going through change, you are making them feel uncomfortable around you. Also, sometimes when you're in your physical form, you split from yourselves. You can split from yourselves. It's like
you have this sense of amnesia and forgetting the reason why you are here.
We move forward in February 2025. Okay. Thank you. They said the year of the snake, the transformational year of the snake. It is the old self that is transforming. It is the old self that is shedding of the old. And this can be an uncomfortable time for many of you, which you are experiencing right now. The uncomfortability is that you are shedding of who you once were. Now, imagine. What happens is, in your mind of how you see yourself, when you look in the mirror and you see yourself in the mirror, you see that who you are. You see your personality, you see the role that you play in life. You are aware of if you are a parent, a mother, a father, a sister, a brother, a friend, whoever you are to whoever those outside the extension of yourself. You become this person, this interaction that you have from those around you. The trouble is, from their interaction with you, how they see you, or in their minds of how they see you, they are creating a version of you in their multiverse. So you are living in a multiverse of many different dimensions, and many versions of yourself is showing up. So however you are, that how individuals might see you, as if you were at home or if you were at work, it's having an interaction with your soul. Your soul is engaging and participating. You are seeking out growing. You are learning knowledge, but you also are judging yourself through the interaction that you're having with others. And not all interaction is plain sailing and pleasant. There are those interactions where it can be grating. So when you are going through change, you are making them feel uncomfortable around you also, because they are then becoming aware of the fact that they are not changing at the pace that you are, the rate. And many of you are in this 2025, especially as we move forward, are changing at a rapid speed. Now, there is a discord here. So, as a medium and talking and communicating, I noticed that when we have loved ones coming in, that they're giving me information, but they're also saying that they become more aware of themselves when they are physically not in their physical form, that their soul has more of an awareness on this side, where they reflect back at who they once were and the role that they played. And through that interaction, they're learning more about the role they played on planet Earth when they were here. So, if they were a mother, a father, a sister, a brother, whatever it is, they're having more of an understanding because they're removed from the role that they play on planet Earth at that particular time. So as a soul, they connect more of that consciousness of themselves and that awareness from a soul consciousness, this higher level version of themselves. This is the true higher level. So once they are detached or separate from that physical form, they're able to then explore the interactions, the relationships they would have had with many others. When they are in the physical form, thank you. They also said there's sometimes when you're in your physical form, you split from yourselves. You can split from yourselves. It's like not a loss of identity, but your identity sort of separates in a sense, because the interaction that you're having with others around you, you're engaging with them, and through the influence of how others might see you or how the interaction is, you might make those changes because of the individual or not because of yourself. They said when was there ever a rule of saying that you should not be selfish? Thank you. They say that the selfishness is painted in a light that, as a human, that doing what you feel is best for you is seen as being selfish, whereas it should be seen as that personal development of your soul. It would make sense that if you personally developed your soul, if you personally connected to your higher self, if you were aware of your soul self, then the interaction, the engagement of others that were around you would have more of an uplifting or change of those, the interaction. So we shall explain. There are many of you on your planet right now who are your spiritual practices, your awareness of yourself, your soul searching. We will use this word, the soul searching sense. When you are soul searching, you're becoming aware of your energy, of who you are. The word selfishness was never created here to be used. It is the interactions of your souls that you are engaging with each other. It is to learn not to separate yourself. On your planet, there has been much separation. There is this separation of self. It is to engage with your higher self. It is to connect with your soul consciousness and your awareness. It is to go in so that then you may tune out. Many of you are beginning that practice. Many of you are learning to take the time for your own study, to have your own purpose, to have an understanding of who you are. We are aware of the discomfort this may cause through when you are going through changes. Others around you are holding you in their mind of how they see you, the role that you play. And once you start then connecting to yourself, of you living from your higher self, as in the sense doing what feels best for yourself, and living in the moments of being aware what makes you happy and your heart sings. When you are fully engaged on a soul level with yourself, you are connecting to your higher self, your soul consciousness, the awareness of who you are and why you are here. The connection becomes clearer. You then can engage more fully with your higher self. But when you are fulfilling the needs for others, and maybe taking action for others and for their needs and not your own, and putting your own needs to the side, you are not then fully engaging with why you are here. There are many on the other side, as you will call this, that are aware that if they had their time again, of what they would do. And of course they have their time again, and then they forget why they are here, because they're engaging with others and how others may see them. So living in a multiverse of different dimensions of yourself, it is also how you see yourself. Your species, your kind, is quite vulnerable and fragile to the emotions and the feelings. We are aware of this. When you enter back into the planet, into the atmosphere, into the arena, as we shall say, there are many that pull your strings, the engagement of each other, the memories, the feelings, the emotions, the thoughts. You are creating your own destiny. You are creating your own life, your own reality of how you see things. Many of you who go through chaos, who then investigate this chaos, whether it is through counseling or therapy, however, or those moments, those enlightening moments when you become aware of that you are changing, you start to see your world slightly different. Many of you who fall in love with those individual people and the relationship of how it once were, and then you are changing and the relationship begins to change, is because of your view and who you are and how much knowledge you have sought for yourself and become aware of your awareness of who you truly are. There are many souls that have fed us back this information that if they could do it again, and then they
are allowed to come back again to do it again on the cycle. It is in the knowledge that they have much more understanding, but of course, once they enter here back onto planet Earth, you have this sense of amnesia and forgetting the reason why you are here. There will always be this cycle of emotions and feelings and thoughts from past lifetimes that you may carry forward and through. It is having the understanding from those past lifetimes of why you have connected in that way, and why then you step forward, you'll get the opportunity to communicate with those from the previous lifetimes so that the engagement of your relationships will change. It may be that in one lifetime where one was your husband or your wife or your brother or your sister, in this lifetime their role changes. It is so that you get to see from another point of view. It is so that you engage with them on another level and a layer of yourself. There is another version of yourself that's playing out. But even in the world that you live today, of how you see yourself and how others might see you, it is the thought process of how you see yourself that you are projecting out, that you are seeing that yourself through their eyes to some degree. So however they are seeing you or engaging with you is from their limitations as well. So you can see that by being more enlightened of your soul self, you start to engage with more of the enlightenment of others. It is more of the understanding that you become. You will see those mirrors around you and they reflect back to who you are. But if you are feeling down in yourself, and there is this disconnection from your soul self in the sense of a lack of understanding of who you are, you'll receive more in your field around you, as in your world around you. So there will be many who may be feeling discomfort at this particular time, because there are many that are becoming aware that they now have to do and to live the life how they wish to live, or they will feel this discomfort in themselves. Many of you hear this message are going through a period of discomfort because there is growth. This is not permanent. This is only temporary while you're going through so much change on your soul level of who you are. When you have judgment against yourself in a sense of what you feel and you feel that you can and you cannot do, you are projecting that out into the energy fields within the universal fields. You then create more of. You then attract more of that. We wish for you more to be in the daydreaming mode of where you wish or think that you could be in. And when there is an ill thought or an image or a thought of something going wrong, ways to distract that energy before it takes root. So you see, it is important who you connect with. It is important to be around those who are like-minded, so that then you are aware of your own energy and their energy, and you bounce off with enlightenment with each other. Some of you feel that there is a lonely place in the world when you are unable to engage with others. So, in this month of February 2025, is to stand your ground. It is a period of time when you feel that there has to be some change in your life. Then it is for you to take that change. It is for you to stand witness, bear witness of the changes that are happening around you. It is a time of reflection of what you have been through. It is a time where you no longer wish the same. It is that you have asked for change, and change is occurring in your life. The moment you ask for change, more enlightenment of the universe, more soul conscious awareness of yourself, that you will feel the most discomfort as you are going through levels of change. And yes, it is a cycle. So whatever level or layer of your soul that needs to be explored, you then continue after that layer and level has been learned. There is always another layer and level. It is your soul purpose to expand. That was your wish wish of coming to this planet so that you could explore it on this universal energy field.
The real feeling of, as we are shifting, it's like just like a snake shedding its skin of the old, letting go of that growth. I used to keep snakes. I remember when my snake was growing, they literally, it burst out of its seams, it burst out of its skin. It had to slowly take it off the shed, the skin. And I remember there's something that came to me the other day when I was in meditation, that the eyes, there's no eyelids on snakes. So it was actually when I took off the skin, I wish I could find the skins, you could see like a cover, a coat, sort of like almost like half a boiled egg, the shell of the eyes. And I just thought, even the vision changes. So when you're going through a lot of psychological growth, spiritual growth, you're extending, you're expanding of how you think about yourself, those around you start seeing them slightly different. That lens changes, your lens of the world changes totally. And so when they were showing me this, they was also saying, thank you, they said they were saying to me that when you are aware of that change, and when you allow yourself to go for the discomfort and acknowledge the discomfort is just growth, there is such thing, I think they said, growing pains. When you allow that discomfort of that growth to go through that, then you then are in the flow. You sort of allow yourself, it is like to lay back as if you're floating on the ocean, sort of to lay back and to float in the ocean, just to allow it to take you where it needs to go to, because then it's the least path of resistance, and that takes you to where you need to actually go to. But there's this of letting go of our old self. Sometimes that's the hardest thing. There's this saying of the dark night of the soul. It feels very much like that. We crack, and then we're going through this great change. So it's very much about letting go of what is no longer is ourselves. Okay, thinking, I've brought this before. They're showing me again, some of you have heard this before from me, but this obviously is not a real acorn, but with an acorn, the large oak tree, the acorn, if it could consciously be aware of itself, is an acorn. And then under great pressure, the shell cracks. And through the shell cracking, just like the human, when you're going through discomfort or something that you doesn't feel comfortable with, you get the roots, you get the acorn starting to activate itself to make that change. And we would also call that maybe, for us working with energy, the spiritual awakening, whatever you want to call it. People going through psychotic, times, whatever. But that feeling of cracking or breakdown or depression or whatever it is, whatever we want to call it, it's the same thing. We start to change. And it's that period of changing, of we don't know who we really are when we're going through that change, because we are shedding the old self. We may not recognize ourselves when we're in front of the mirror and be aware of who we truly are. This happens with different stages of, when you're a parent and your children start changing, and they change schools, or when they change into teenagers, or when they turn into adults, or whatever it is. And if you don't have children, it's something else with the job, the job title. You go for a job and you are that individual title, and then you see your friends and you're somebody else. There's all these changes, and this is what's happening right now, is that this massive change. And just like the acorn, it's implanting its roots into the soil, and it's going in on itself, it's going deep down into the soil, so that it needs that time, that sort of period of like hibernation before it starts in saying, okay, genetically with the acorn, I don't know how it works, but it's something's activated. Thank you, soul activation, they just said. And then it starts sprouting, and it starts becoming that, that tree, but gently, like the little sapling that bends in the wind. It's like you become quite vulnerable. And this is where we are right now on the planet. Many are changing. There's a lot of change going on, and can feel quite vulnerable. And as the oak tree grows into the solid, wise oak tree, that holds all the knowledge and information, and it's absorbing it from the roots, it's absorbing it from its environment. And this is what's happening right now, this mass change that's going on, of past experiences, of not just talking about past lives, because that's a lot that's going on right now. A lot of, I know the people coming to see me right now, a lot of past lives are being reactivated. That real awakening of okay, this feels familiar, I feel like I've been like this before, but it hasn't happened in this lifetime. Could it be this person's for me for a reason? Yes, this soul activation. But what they're saying, it's a bit like a projection or a projector that, when you're going through something, when or how you see yourself, like those thoughts process are projecting out into the universe, so you're creating more of the energy field around you. So it's like, by connecting more to your higher self, by allowing yourself to daydream, and like very manifesting, and by taking some time out, whether it's through meditation or mindfulness, and disconnecting to the noise around you in the outside world, by trying to distract yourself from overly worrying about the paying the bills and everything else, which I know we live in the 3D world, it happens. But the more that we can, take ourselves out and spend that 5-10 minutes a day, if possible, just to switch off the sound, we grow, we expand still, and we become another version of ourselves. And that's what they're talking about, as in, it's not being selfish by doing it. It's about needing to take that time for yourselves right now. When we are, when we're in a relationship, a loving relationship, there's this, of course, however we are showing up in the world, or however we're showing up in that relationship, that we're having that interaction and engagement with them, obviously it's going to affect them. So it's backwards and forwards, the engagement of how we interact with them. That's normal, that's just what happens. And sometimes by one partner going through more maybe spiritual growth or psychological awareness, or whatever you want to call it, whatever that awareness we have, is going to have an effect upon the other person, because they're going to see the version of you as slightly different from maybe how you were once before. It's not good or bad, but they're going to feel that version of yourself is slightly shifted, slightly changed. Now, they want to call it, they're starting to call it more and more today, about multiverse. So you're living in obviously the same, on the same planet, the same energy, you're at the same timeline, in a sense of 2025, this is where you are right now. But because your energy has shifted, and for you personally, and tuning into your energy, you've upgraded in a sense of your awareness of yourself and your spiritual gifts that you have. It's almost like you're saying about the timelines, it's like you've jumped, it's like quantum, you've jumped, you've done a quantum leap, you've shifted your energy. And so he's going to engage with you by the awareness that he has of you. So whatever he is, however he's interacting with you, it's only going to be at the knowledge that he is aware of himself. So you will have another awareness of yourself, but that may not be quite matching up with his awareness of you. So he's seeing you at one version, and you're seeing at yourself another version. I'm doing that because there is a slight difference. Doesn't mean hierarchy, you're higher than him in the sense of better than him. It's nothing like that. But the version, how you're showing up in his world, and I'll bring this up because this is what they just said to me. So the version, like as we imagine the soul, always bring this up, like the diamond, many sides to us, and the versions of ourselves. And each lifetime there's going to be a version, a part of us, like a fractal fraction that's going to show up on the world at any point, and how we engage with others. Now, there may be that, I think the higher self has an awareness of the whole of the diamond, the whole different dimensions of where you've been in past lives, how you've interacted with others, your relationships. It has a whole wide knowledge of you, your higher self, the whole everything. It's aware of everything in your soul, okay? Everything. And this is like your heart soul center. But the version of where you are may be like one side of the version of you, who you are, shown up on the planet at this particular time. Now, you may feel that, you may feel it. Some people may see themselves when they look in the mirror. Some might feel, I feel different, and I look in the mirror and I don't see what I'm thinking. He may see another version of you because of his knowledge, the experiences, or his knowledge, or his awareness of the information. He's going to see you, maybe another side of you, but may not see that true version of you at this moment in time. It does change. So when you're going through changes and you're showing up in the world of what version of yourself is, Thank you. And they're saying the more that you're aware of your higher self and that connection, it's almost lightens the enlightenment. This is the pathway, becomes a lot easier. You're heading in that direction. But he may still only see you from a version of how he sees himself as well. So it's about his work on himself, how he's developing. He's only going to see a certain version of you. So if you want to call it timelines, it is slightly different, the timelines in a sense, if you want to call that. But it's about how we see something. It's a bit like if I see something, I think it's a colour yellow. Someone might say, no, well, that's green. It's just a different awareness. So you're having this relationship, and in this world that you're living with him, this 3D reality world, he's seeing you as something, and then you're showing up as something else. So thank you. They just said, there's many of you on the planet that a complete stranger will walk up to you and start telling you information, because they can sense that vibration or feel that pull, that, you know, you have this awareness, or they feel comfortable with you. And this is that sign that you're an empath, you're psychic, you're tuned into intuition. And thank you. They said, by the way, the intuition is very much connected to your higher self. So the more you're intuitive, the more that you work with your sixth sense, the more that you tune into that, you are connecting more to your higher self. And people will pick up on that, like dogs, animals, sensing when something feels right. That's working with your intuition, that gut feeling. So he's not quite there yet. He's grown, but your partner, your husband, is not quite there yet where you are. And he may never reach totally that peak because of the way he might see the world. And that's how he sees the world, is the version that how he shows up. Well, our timelines are totally shifting all the time. So the awareness that we have for ourselves, the knowledge that we have, our timeline shifts because of our experience and because of our awareness. So the more that we're aware of ourselves, our timeline is shifting constantly. So where something might, you know, if I have a client and I might sit with them and say, okay, I said this to someone today, and I said, oh yeah, I can see that. Now they're giving me 18 months to 2 years when I see you actually moving to another country and you're going to be doing that. I said, but you know, having some more awareness of yourself and looking at more of your journey will shift that timeline super fast. So
many of you are shape-shifting. You are the crusaders, your journey of your soul. The timing of you going through this change is that, you know this as we know this, is that this was meant to be your time and change in your life, that this was going to happen. It was inevitable. It will be those who on your planet feel uncomfortable as in what was happening before in their particular lives. It had to change. There were no other way. There is no turn around where possible, like your sat navigation systems. It's more that it's more uncomfortable to remain the same. It is that you had to change. It is that you had to have the awareness of change. It is called the shape shifting, as we suggested before, the shape shifting of your soul. It is becoming aware of that the life can no longer exist how you wish or how you lived to see it before. There has been this shifting in your energy of who you are. You see, it is about you feeling more comfortable in yourself. It is about not having to please others around you. And this is what we speak of as in the sense of being selfish, as some of you will label this on your planet. It is more about being more tuned in to yourself, which feels more comfortable. This feeling of feeling disengaged with some of your friends or colleagues or family members, it is so that you find yourself. It is not a period of time to be fitting in with others. You were never meant to fit in with others. You become a mass programming if you fit in with others. It is for you to step out of that program in. It makes others feel comfortable when they are
you are the same. When you remain the same, it makes them feel comfortable knowing that nothing has changed around them, because they then otherwise will feel vulnerable, and maybe they aren't ready for change as they think, as they are holding back from changing themselves. So with friends or colleagues or family members who point the finger, as in, when are you going to change back? Or they are uncomfortable with the fact that you have decided that you are working more with enlightenment and spiritual energy. They are uncomfortable because they have not quite found that themselves. Many of them do not wish to face the change in themselves. Many wish to sit comfortably with knowing that when they look in the mirror, they have the same problems, they have the same reasoning, that life still feels the same. And many of these individuals are the ones that will moan and complain that life is not changing for them. They are receiving more of. Whereas those who feel maybe a period of brokenness, or feeling that there has to be some sort of change in their world, then you are heading in that direction. So the question that you asked us is, what do you do? How do you navigate through this? Well, you have to be the balance. You have to be follow by example the others. Let you be the lead on this. You have to look internally inside yourself. Now, when we tune into your particular energy, and there are many also similar to this, there is this maybe an insecurity in yourself of, who am I? What is my purpose? Where am I heading? Why am I here? What am I doing with my life? Well, these are those investigatory reasons for investigating for your soul self. Others may be not even enlightened enough to ask themselves these questions. Many of them may be still doing the work that they have done forever and ever and ever, and they may be happy, and this is fine also too, where they are on their journey. But for yourself, we conceive that there are, and many like yourself, who are now questioning why. What's your purpose? Why would you be brought to this planet at this time? What is it that you are to learn? Well, first, it is to learn about yourself. It is to find out more information. It is to be aware that there is these energy fields. It is to be aware that you have those guides, that you are tuned in, that you are feeling what's going on your planet, that you are the empath, that you are the psychic, you are the medium, that you are receiving information. There are so many at this time that are waking up to the fact that they have these abilities to hear, see and feel. And it's not just the 3D world that you live in, that you are aware that there are other possibilities around you. Now imagine how this must freak out the individual human when you have just been taught to see through your eyes, or what you physically see on your planet. But we are aware many of you are discovering your third eye and are becoming more aware of from the visualization. Now, we have instructed many of the students on the courses that the third eye to activate more is to do the daydream child. This activates more of the vision through the third eye and expands yourself. You are a creative person, as we are addressing this to this one particular person, and through your creativity, or the vision of what you see, has activated your third eye and more the expansion of self. Sometimes we feel you as an individual feels maybe a little bit lost in the energy of where you fit in, but the uncomfortability is you have changed. It is time for you to shift yourself into another gear. Now, the individuals that you speak of that maybe aren't engaging with you, or in a sense are judging, it is because they feel uncomfortable in themselves. It is possibly that later on that they also change their mind. You see, also it is to feel comfortable with the version of who they do see. Maybe it is that you wish to show up in the world to them as one version of yourself, and then the other version of yourself by you with your spiritual work or the energy work that you do. It is about you feeling comfortable with the information that you know. Maybe you wish to also have this relationship still with these individual friends and show up as the version of who they see. Maybe they do not need to hear any more than just the person that they've known for years. Maybe you might feel comfortable with this, that they know you for who you are through their eyes. But be aware that those individuals that you are connecting with, the version of yourself they see, it may be limited. You may start to feel the limitations of who and what they see in their world of you. And that may be the frustration or the uncomfortability in yourself that you are aware of. We are wondering why you wish not to expand and to develop new relationships and to spread your wings as such. It is a time of change. Those around you who are those true friends will accept the fact that your views may have changed, and now that you have looked at more of the spiritual side, they will just accept this is just who you are. Like somebody who plays football that used to play basketball. It's the same person, it's just they may now have slightly different views. But yes, it is to navigate this, is to know thyself more. Is to have an understanding of what makes you feel happy and what makes you feel more content. And that means also it is to be truthful with yourself and honest by looking around at your surroundings, by seeing what fits better in your life now. People sometimes create a lifestyle of homes, houses, flats, whatever the property may be, see themselves, whatever job role they have seen themselves as, and then when they start to change, it is not the friend, it is yourself that is changing. Living your truth, however uncomfortable that may feel. Again, it's the version of yourself, of others around you. Living your truth is so that you are tuned in to your heart, that you know exactly who you are and what it is that you want, and knowing what will fulfill your heart's desire. It's knowing that why you are here. It's tapping into your soul center. It's being aware of why you are here. And living your truth is tapping into that you fulfill the rest of your life from living from the heart center. Not always easy, we must admit. We are aware of many of you who try to live from this place. It is not always easy to live your truth. Your truth is understanding your identity of where you have come from, who you are. It is exploring a soul's journey. It is exploring where you have come from. It is being able to tune in to that past self. It's having a greater understanding of your journey. Some of you find this truth in where you have been before in those past lives. Past lives are just another version of yourself. When we speak of multiverse, it is another dimension of yourself. It is part of yourself living another timeline. It is the overlapping of the multiversion and the different dimensions happening at the same time. When you speak of past lives, it is the thread that you pull out from a ball of wool. That when you pull out from the ball of wool, that thread, that is the timeline of the past life. Each thread that is pulled out from this ball of wool is another version of yourself. It is when you sit with yourself and have a greater understanding of when you were here, why you were here, and what happened in that lifetime. Every time that lifetime moves on and you no longer exist in that physical sense of itself, it is when the soul then looks at its journey and what was the discovery of that soul journey. It is when you're in the presence that you are there witnessing as a projection, as a projector
seeing almost like a cine film of your life, of why the interactions occurred with others and what it is that you need to know about yourself. The true self speaks of you as the individual. It is your truth inside your heart that resonates for you and feels correct. It is like the ball of wool of the different versions and threads of yourself, as you will know this as past and present and future. But it is that you are living many dimensions of yourself, not only just in this lifetime, but many versions in different time zones. Your true self is that you are connected and aware of your higher self and your journey of why you are here. It is that feeling that you get when you are living the lifestyle that you wish to live for yourself. We are not saying it is easy. We are saying, as the human, many of you will be pulled in many different directions of yourself, depending on the roles that you play in your life and how they are affecting others. As the mother that you are to your child, we would say children, the interaction that you are showing up in their life. There are many versions of yourself showing up in your world as we can see this. We are also aware you as a medium and how you are being seen in that side of the world, in the sense of the dimension of you as the medium and how you are showing up. There is work to be done. When you're aware of your true self, then your work flows. You'll have those who will come to you because of the similarities that you have lived like them. It is not to fit into a box to prove to others that you can do a job or a role. It is for you to fit in with what feels right for yourself and not others. That is your true self. It is the relationship that you have with your soul center and your higher self. Yeah, it's not time to dim your light. It's time for you to shine. Because when you are shining and stepping into those shoes, then you are going to attract in what you need to come in. So like working as a medium, the energy of that's coming in, it's not to sort of pull yourself away and go, I can't do this for whatever reason. It's actually for you to stand forward in that role now and to play it. Don't dim your light. That is the true, living your true life, living your true reason why you're here. And they said by looking at you and feeling into you, you know that more than ever, that it's not about fitting in with other people and what they think. It's your true heart's desire that's needing to speak out. So how do you navigate that when you're in a structure of the family around you or friends that do not resonate with that feel actually their world will shatter, or they're fearful how others might see themselves because of what you are saying? So it's more about now it's time to stand with conviction of what you want to do. But then they said there is a price to pay for that, but I'm wondering that it's not the price that you think is to pay. Tune into your heart's desire, tune into your soul, when your soul came here for a reason. And sometimes it's the hardest thing, is when our soul is speaking, and we have to be our true self, because the life that we're living, we cannot be anybody else or anything else for anybody else but ourselves. There is a discomfort, a discord when we try to fit in with others. And sometimes
Thank you. They said, and this is what the discomfort they're talking about this time, because there's a mass discomfort on the planet this time of when we are shifting, when we're changing. And you personally have shifted so much and changed. You've become so much more enlightened. You've connected back to that teenage self, that young child that was so intrigued and inquisitive about this energy field, and then you changed to fit in with others possibly, or there was this mass change that most individuals do on the planet at certain times of themselves, so it's more comfortable to fit in with others. The true self is saying, I cannot fit in with what others are thinking. I have to tune in with what my beliefs are. It's now about your beliefs, that the purpose, the reason why you're here. So it's not to say that your marriage will break up, that if you were expressing yourself more. And then there is this, that, well, if it did break up, then surely doesn't that mean that there is an issue with this individual, not with yourself, because you're tuning into your true self, really tuning into your heart center and living by that place within your heart, as in letting it to guide you. Because otherwise there is discomfort in yourself by trying to live a life that others want for you, rather than knowing really what your soul desires. Yeah, there is that when, and I felt it personally myself, when you're ready to move into the next stage, the next step, moving forward, and then it's not showing up, and you're like, I'm ready for this new change, I'm ready, you know, I've got the training behind me, I've done, you know, I've learned more, I've spiritually, you know, exposed myself, I've been learning so much, but yet it's still not turning up. Well, there is a word, or two words. Divine timing, sorry. This individual wants the question, it's divine timing, and you're not gonna like it, because there is this impatientness. Remember, we don't have all the information to the fingertips. There is other information going on around there that is matching up. So wherever, this is why we are our, you know, when we talk about our true self, when we talk about divine timing, when we talk about what's, you know, what we are going through, the universe is matching up for what we are ready to receive. And so it's really, it's like we've got to keep tuning to us, what's going on for us at this particular time, and it's about us working on our own energy. We can't solve other people, we can't change other people, we can only change ourselves. We know that to be a fact, but how we think of ourselves, like as if we are a fire or a boiler or a radiator, it radiates out, is going to affect other people around us. When there's that mass change, that you've got that knowledge and that know-how now, and you go, right, yeah, I know this, I've got that, but why is it not happening? There is discord in the frustration. So it's like learning to go, right, okay, and it's that acceptance. It's about letting go of just going, right, universe, you'll give me what I need when I need to do it. It's being aware of actually every single thought that we have, we are creating the energy in the sphere around us, and we're getting more of it back. But we've got to learn to it's like surfing. It really is like surfing. Over the years, when the frustration that's arose in me when I was ready to leave my ex-partner, when I was ready to build my business, when I was ready to move, or ready to do this, ready to do that, I felt I was ready. And then it was put on hold for a bit. I'm like, well, why? And it's like, the more I was told, the more frustrated I wanted to get to where I wanted to get to. Or I'm like, I'm ready now. They're like, no, you're not. You're ready when you don't think you're ready, or you're ready when you just forgot that you're there. And it's in that process of, you know, sometimes we're a goal set and we go, right, when I get to this place, I'll be doing this. When I get to the ideal weight, I'll be doing this. When I get that ideal job, or when I get that ideal home, or when I get that ideal whatever it is. Then we get there, and sometimes we don't even recognize we've actually got there, because sitting in front of you right now, picking up on your individual energy, you've got there. The thing that's holding you back is the frustration of thinking that you haven't got. Sometimes we have this goal of thinking what we want to happen, or how we think it's going to be, and we have this illusion sometimes of thinking this is what it's going to be like, especially with manifesting as well. This is how it's going to be like when we get there. And then we actually get there and we don't realize we're there. And it's like, well, where's the balloons? Where's the celebration? Where's this? Where's that? Because of what we thought it was going to look like. Well, actually, we're there, but we just haven't accepted this is just how it feels when we're there. And because it's the version of ourselves, however our mind was going back in time of what we thought was going to happen, the balloons, the celebration, it's going to look like this, it's going to look like that. And then when we get there, it's like not matching up to it. It's just because the expectations are very different from what reality actually is. Because you've got where you're meant to be right now. I'm checking your time zones. I'm tuning into energy. Yeah, if anything, you're the one that's holding it up because you're not surfing it. You're not surfing the wave. You're not floating on the ocean and just allowing it. Being in tune with the energy of the universe is literally by surrendering and letting go of whatever outcome it is. And so when we let go of the outcome and just go, right, okay, this is how I want to feel, and just let go and let it receive however it's going to look like, then you're there. And just a simple little thing, I mean, God, I've learned it a few times. You know, when I left my partner, I thought, oh, it's going to be like this, it's going to be like that. And it was not like that at all. Me buying my house, I made sure I didn't have exactly the image because that was going to restrict it about me getting the property. When I was in the flow of my head going, oh, I want it to look like this, I want it to be like that, I want it to be in this area, I want it to be like that, I was constricting the universe of them delivering it to me. Whereas when I turn around and go, I just want to feel safe, I just want to feel calm, I just want to feel like this, and then I end up turning at this house, I was like, I just feel calm, I just feel peaceful. And it was exactly what I wanted to happen. It just didn't look how I thought it was going to happen. So I was the one that was slowing it down. You are there, I can feel it in your energy. Just allow yourself to go, it's okay where I am right now. Trust it's going to be delivered how it's going to be delivered. I mean, I can see it there already. It's just waiting literally just to punctuate straight through into your energy field. But I love it. The trouble is, the question you asked was, is it going to get any easier? The thing is, if it was easy, the humans tend to have a laziness about them, and up to be here to have this craziness in your life. You wanted to create change. You decided from the previous lifetime that you'd had enough. And so when there are difficulties in your life, whether family members, friends, whoever it is because there is this pressure, a bit like with the diamond is the coal and the pressure on the diamonds to create it in the first place. So the pressures that you are going through, everyone who is going through any pressures, it is to help that process of expansion of themselves. So yes, if we look at, we are in February 2024, this fourth quarter of this year, up until March, they will feel as if it's heavy, that there is change. Now, when we head into the end of March, April, things begin to feel a little bit more easier for those who have done the work. When it is difficult, when there is pressure, it means you are expanding through the discomfort, but it becomes and feels a little bit easier once you've moved out of that discomfort. So it's not to sit there on the sideline and think, come April, things are going to get easier. No, actually, it's to ride this wave now and to know that actually through this pressure right now, it's creating the turn, the change that will get you to April when you go, I've done the work, I'm ready to move on now. So it will feel lighter in energy. But it's not about the timing of the year or the months. It's more about the energy of you, in particular yourselves who are listening to this, and the journey that you are on that will actually go, right, at some point it goes, yes, I've gone through that trimester. Now I'm ready to have that peace and calm for a while, that breathing spot.